Hello and welcome one and all, I am Old School Gamer 1971, a special shout out to Millie and Lloyd. Hope you're all having a great day and are staying safe. Today's subject matter is Third Hour Thoughts Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Before we begin, if you enjoy the video, give it a big thumbs up, like, and if it pleases you, check out my channel and subscribe. So without further ado,
The ring. Now for our little plan. You see us talking. Be quiet.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is an adventure RPG developed by Ubisoft that released for the PlayStation 4 in 2020. This is the latest in a long line of games in the franchise that started way back in 2007. Many felt the original did not live up to the promise of the original demo. By the time the second game came out, it did. And this is the latest game and pretty much is a even more polished version of Odyssey in my opinion. Ubisoft are probably my favourite developer right now, and I know that is not a popular statement. Founded in 1986 in France, my first game I played from Ubisoft was Asphalt for the Amstrad CPC in 1987. With series such as Rayman, The Division, Far Cry, Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed under their belts, I have ploughed hours into their games. As with all Ubisoft games, I've opted for the Gold Edition, so I get all of the DLC in with the price. Ivor is a Viking raider who, after overcrowding in his homeland, Norway, crossed the ocean to England to spread their seed and set up home. Set in 873 AD in Norway and later in the game, England. As the game begins, a young Ivor witnesses the death of his parents and is lucky to get away with his life. Fast forward 18 years and he is now on the trail of his parents' murderers. You are about to be sold into slavery when you make your escape and start on your journey of revenge. Arguably the best kind of story. Ending in a big battle in Wessex with all the allies you have made along the way during the game. And I am avoiding big time spoilers here. There is also a lot of crap involving the Animus, which I do not care about and wish that they would take out of the game and make them optional viewing at best. So is this Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or is it too ice cream vanilla? Anyone who has played the previous entries will feel right at home here. In a way, this makes the series easy to jump in and out of. Happily, the game does look pretty solid, more on this later. The controls, they do feel a little more responsive. Maybe it's the PlayStation 5, maybe it's the controller. All I do think is that it feels damn good to play this game. While you'll find the majority of your time will be a lot of gameplay, the game is also plot heavy and does have a plot for you to become invested in. I will admit I was switching off when it comes to the Animus, not the game. I wasn't taking notice, just ignoring it. Thankfully, there is not too much of the Animus in the time I have played. Again, this is one big map that opens up over time, with collectibles for you to find, quests for you to do, and story for you to uncover. You will have to travel across the entire map if you are to get the most out of this game, which I would say is the best way to experience this one. So let's start with the characters. They do look fantastic, a next level of detail. And this is without the PlayStation 5 upgrade. When I was looking at the trailers, it didn't quite look as good as this. Do not get me wrong, graphics are not everything, but I do think that they can help immerse you into the world. As well, it's not a good look if the game doesn't exceed the previous entry. Again, this game has a high detail level. And whilst we should have come to expect detail in our AAA games, I go back to my earlier argument, Unity. I do believe that using x86 making backwards compatibility easier also means that it's easier to get to speed with the new hardware. Anyway, the detail is good indoors, outdoors, characters, world and water. It is all round a good looking game. Now on to a little gripe. I've heard a little criticism of the colour palette and it is not quite as bright and colourful as previous entries. And I would say I live in Old Blighty, England, and the weather on show here is a pretty damn fine representation. Colour scheme for the era is also pretty spot on. I would rather it be authentic than make out that it looks like some sun-drenched oasis.
Together, all right? All over for you! Just watch!
One of the things I have always loved about the Assassin's Creed games is the music. I myself listen to music based on mood, which is what the music does here. It is somber when it needs to be, it is up-tempo during combat, and it is epic when it needs to set the scene. Bang on. Which would all be for naught if it was not for the ambient sound. You see, whilst music sets the mood, it is ambient sound that draws you into the world. It is hearing the sounds of the world, but you cannot overdo it or the world doesn't seem real. Here it does such a good job. It's nice when a game makes silence the loudest sound. When you start to hear something in the distance, getting ever closer. The audio for the PlayStation 5 is fantastic. This brings us nicely onto voiceover. You see, if the story is to be important, you need actors to bring the story to life. They need to be believable. If not, it will drag you kicking and screaming out of the story every step of the way, and you will find it hard to become invested in the story again. Here, you have no need to worry. No, it is not worthy of an Oscar, but it is more than competent. With 3 hours into the story, no, I have not met every character, not even heard that much of the script, but I have heard enough for me to know that the cast will not be too irritating. Right, let's go with logic. This game is about Vikings, ergo yes, I like this game. Do I care how accurate the game is? Probably not. In a world filled with political correctness, they could not make this as gritty as the real world was at that time. But the world drew me in. I am a Viking. A pretty on point world. I am still a Viking. The story that kept my interest. I'm a goddamn Viking. As a child, this is one of the games that you would play. Vikings. Along with cowboys, pirates and Star Wars. 3 hours was never going to be enough with this one. I will be honest, I was a little worried about this one. I'm not bashing Ubisoft. They have made some of my favourite games of the last generation. They had announced so many games for this autumn/winter, however. I felt that the quality would drop. Add in the utter mess that was Unity. The time they made an Assassin's Creed game for the PlayStation 3 and another game for the PlayStation 4. Spoilers, the PlayStation 3 game was better. This game is not Unity, instead more on par with Odyssey. So this game did meet my expectations. This is a series that I want to get back to and hope that soon I will get back onto the series, working my way from Valhalla backwards. One day the platinum will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine. Anyone who ever wanted to be a Viking at some point in their youth, any fan of Assassin's Creed or the open world genre, anyone that has a lot of time on their hands and wants to lose themselves in the story, get this game and enjoy. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, this most certainly is and earns itself a solid 9.3 out of 10. I'm off to pillage in a politically correct way.
God grant me strength!
And it's done. If you found this video interesting or have any suggestions, please comment down below. It will put a big old smile on this old face. Let's get the conversation started. I will answer you all. I post new content every week. Have a great day one and all, and thank you for your support. This has been Old School Gamer 1971 signing off.